Ladies and gentlemen, special episode of Project W Key. Today we get to announce the return of The Office. Okay, this is not a troll. The Office is having a Saudi remake called Al Maktab. And this is actually being produced by people that are by affiliates of BBC. This is not a joke. This is not a drill. In fact, it already has aired. Season 2 started this January. It's been going on for a while. And the ratings on IMDb are like 7.5. I don't understand. Overall IMDb rating is a 6.7 out of 10. This is interesting. I don't know if I would want to watch. I don't normally watch subtitle shows at all. Maybe this is worth it. Maybe this is worth it. This is not a troll. This really is an episode answering the question, will The Office ever come back? And yes and no. Pretty interesting that it's come back in this form, and the Saudi Arabia remake, which is exciting and cool. But today I want to ask the question in the format of The Office that we know and love. Would The Office that aired today, just the way it was, be canceled in 2023? Would it be canceled because of ratings? Would it be canceled because of content? Would it be canceled because of the jokes that it makes? You let me know in the comments right now. Thank you guys for all the love and support here on Project W Key, helping start conversations on the internet in a place full of division and divisive opinions. Even when we disagree, we can have conversations. We full send it on Project W Key, and we hope to have a divine perspective as we guide our way through the internet. So The Office, one of my favorite shows of all time, one of the most watched shows of all time. A couple of quick facts early on. There's a BBC version of it in England, mate. I guess we didn't have the love of it for Americans to really catch on as much to the British version. So we made our own. The Office, incredibly popular show. If you're watching this, you've had to have seen it. The Office on TV, though, a lot of people might not know, is that it actually didn't do very well. Overall, if you look at the Nielsen ratings, which is a popular TV viewership rating, it had 8 million viewers, but scored a 4.1 out of 10. And if you look through Office by Office, you can do this on the Office fandom page. You can see that even some of our favorite episodes just didn't even do that well. That 3.9, 7.9 out of 10 is not all that great. Okay, so this is what's interesting. This is the top rated United States television programs 2007, 2008. And to give you perspective, American Idol on Tuesday got a 16.1. Second was American Idol on Wednesday, 15.9.
No.
You see it all the way down. Desperate Housewives, CSI, House, Grey's Anatomy, 2.5 Men, NCIS, CSI, 60 Minutes, Criminal Minds, Samantha Who, Lost. Oh, shout out Lost. Heroes, my two favorite shows on this list are way down here. Cold Case, Zero No Data Shark Unit, Hell's Kitchen. And check this out. There's literally, The Office isn't even in the top 30 ranked Nielsen rating television shows of the time. However, especially when it came to streaming, The Office, cult fandom, if you will, took the internet by storm, and it quickly became one of the most popular shows ever streamed.
Thank you.
This is from a 2020 study on Netflix before The Office switched, where The Office was streamed more than 57 billion minutes. And that was huge. When Peacock took The Office from Netflix, subscriptions for Peacock jumped 17% the week after The Office came to the services. The paid subscription rose 5%. This was people responding to the potential loss of their favorite show. Netflix at the time projected that they would lose $935 million in annual subscriptions. More than 18 million people were watching The Office. It's very popular. It's one of my favorite shows. The question is would it be canceled today? Why do you ask that? From That's What She Said jokes.
That's what she said.
To just Michael's general demeanor about workplace relationships.
I am in his gay street! In prison, you are somebody's...
My belief is that a lot of the jokes that we laugh at from the early 2000s in a show that we still watch would not be anything that we could tweet or post today. Why is that? I think a big reason for that is that right now we approach everything with a politically correct lens. Now, there's a lot about that that's really good. There are certain jokes that have been made in the past. Even when I think back to jokes that I made in high school, it was not uncommon. It was very common for people to make jokes about someone being gay and using gay as a negative term and a derogatory thing that we would always call people. I can't even say on the internet what all the jokes we would make. So there's some very necessary adjustment that needed to happen when it came to the jokes that we collectively make as a country and in America. However, I watch The Office sometimes to this day and go, someone just got canceled on Twitter for making that same joke that we're reposting and laughing about in The Office. Why do you guys think that is? Do you think that's right? Do you think that's wrong? Do you think that it's different because it's TV? Do you think it's different because it's comedy? Do you think it's different because it's something of the past? And, I'll have to do a whole episode one day on one of my heroes. His name is Dave Chappelle, who has been a comedian that has taken a lot of flack for the jokes and the stand-up comedy routines that he's done. Dave Chappelle has been one of the most controversial figures of the last few years, all because of his humor and the jokes that he's making. So the question is, can humor be harmful? And how do we gauge whether or not humor is harmful? Because when you look at The Office, some of the best moments honestly had some kind of wild connotations. Here, BuzzFeed did an article, the 21, they said 21 unpopular opinions about The Office. Number 1, Pam should have ended up with Michael instead of Jim. Boo! You guys have to rank all these. We're going to do quick ranks, quick hits and misses, on this cultural commentary video. Pam and Dwight's friendship was the show's most underrated relationship. I agree with that. That's very underrated. It was very sweet, very subtle, and had a lot of character development in it. Kelly and Daryl were a great couple. I actually kind of agree with this. When he told her how it is, I need you to access your uncrazy side. He was willing to take a risk and a chance on Kelly. And he was able to help her kind of just understand, yo, chill, I'm here for you. I love you, but you gotta calm down. I wish you would have stuck it out with him. Jim manipulated Pam all throughout the series. Boo. I actually think it's the opposite, especially in the later seasons. Boo. And Jim bullied Dwight. No way, Jose. I think Jim always knew when to draw the line. And I think that he honestly, there's a lot of moments you can tell that he really cared for Dwight. Angela was actually a terrible person. Ding, 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 ding. I mean, right there. It's funny how she's portrayed as the one Christian on the show. And she's a terrible person, which I think is an unfortunate reality of a lot of people's experience with Christians. But I think she was a terrible person. Pam was the most disrespected character throughout the series. Oh my God, Pam, those make you so ugly. Pam, in order to get hotter, you need to take the glasses off. You're moving in the wrong direction. I can't even hear you. It's just noise coming out of an ugly scientist. This even right here, would this not be considered workplace harassment? If a man said this to a woman today, that would be horrible. And obviously in the context of the show, we know it's a joke, but can we joke about that stuff now? 8, Robert California was a perfect addition to the series. Honestly, I kind of liked Robert California. Unpopular take. Toby didn't deserve any of the hate he got. If I had a gun with 2 bullets and I was in a room with Hitler, Bin Laden, and Toby, I would shoot Toby twice. How are we laughing about that? The UK version of The Office is way better. Nelly was Nelly's the worst character. Pam should have left Jim and gotten together with Brian the Boom Mike guy. Boo. The best season of The Office are the ones without Michael. Boo. Kelly and Andy should have started dating. Boo. These are getting worse. Aaron was a boring character. Yeah, honestly, I think a lot of the show, I don't know. I don't think she was the greatest character. Dwight and Angela were the show's best couple. I don't know that they were the best. Jan Levinson was the most relatable character on the show. Honestly, I'll say this. Jan was a very underrated character on the show. Dwight should have kept dating Pam's cousin, Isabel. Isabel actually seemed like a decent person. She liked his farm life. She was responsible. She was a dental hygienist. Pam and Jim should have just stayed friends. Boo. Dwight was actually the good guy. I think in a lot of ways that's very true. I think the point of Dwight and Jim's relationship was showing that both were right and both were the good guys and they needed each other. And lastly, Michael deserves someone better than Holly. No, I think Holly was a fine character. At the end of the day, this is just to show you, just answering the question and really more starting a conversation. Would The Office be canceled today? If you look across social media, a lot of people would be indicted and they would get a lot of hate on the internet for making some of the jokes that were commonly made in The Office. And I think that the other reason, which is way more of a sub reason and just something interesting to talk about, is why I don't know that The Office would do as well today, a remake, is relatability. So many people in America are trying to not work in an office, and part of why The Office struck a chord, I think, at the time was because people were trying to escape the day in and day out mundaneness of The Office and the workplace dynamics, which are honestly becoming a lot less common. So what do you guys think? Would it be canceled today? Can Michael Scott exist in 2023? Can we handle it? Do we want it? Why do you feel comfortable laughing at something from an old show on Netflix, but you wouldn't post it on Twitter or even make the joke in person? Are you a hypocrite? Am I a hypocrite? Or maybe is The Office a great example of how humor can help us broach uncomfortable subjects and actually bring conversations to bear? If we were sitting across from Steve Carrel now, if we were to interview him, could we not follow an episode where Michael is treating Pam horribly and turn that into a podcast or a conversation about how that's many women's experience in the workplace? Can we not live in that? When it comes to the racial discrimination on the show, man, I'm not at all going to say that we need jokes about racism. I don't think that's my department to say, but just really asking you guys across the internet, could those jokes create some actually healthy conversation if done well? And in the cancel culture that we live in and the politically correct culture, do we actually stop good conversations from happening? And humor and our comedians actually the gateway to us having real conversations in a politically correct cancel culture world? I wanted to end with a clip from one of my favorite comedians and actors of all time, Sir Robin Williams.
And I was once on a German talk show, and if you want to go on one, it's a lot of fun. It's really fun. And I was on this German talk show, and this woman said to me, she said, "Mr. Williams, why do you think there's not so much comedy in Germany?" And I said, "Did you ever think you killed all the funny people?" And it was, and here's where it got interesting. She didn't bat an eyelash, she just went, "No." At that point, even God's going, "Do you get it?" German comedy. Knock, knock. We ask the questions.
Rest in peace, Robin Williams. We miss you, sir. And I think even right there is an interesting example. Here he's making a joke about Nazi Germany and the Holocaust, one of the most horrific genocides and examples of government overreach and evil that we've ever seen. And here he is making a joke about it. Is it okay to laugh at it? But it also made me, it just made me think, is the point that Robin Williams is getting at is that in the extreme example of Nazi Germany, if we run out all the funny people because we deem them to be controversial, what is our culture going to have left? And I think that he's getting at the fact that sometimes funny people can seem the most controversial and seem to fit in the least, and that maybe we need to replace humor in its rightful place, not allowing harmful humor. I did a Instagram video. Maybe let's link to it right here. Let's show it here in a second. Where in the brand new war zone, I was playing against kids that are using the hard R. On video games, people are using the N-word with the hard R all the time. I don't think that's a joke. I don't think that's funny. I think for obvious reasons, because of the context, because of the person saying it, because of the whole thing. And I made this video, which got a lot of positive response, but also created some good conversation of people being like, "Hey, why did you post that? What are you trying to say?" Of just showing, man, there's this tension where we need to address these things. Do we address it in a humorous way? Do we address it directly? But there's obvious examples where humor is harmful. But can humor be helpful? Can humor be helpful in us creating some really important conversations And that joke from Robin Williams, it made me think of a very important scene in The Office that has a similar joke.
Dwight, get the door.
I'm not answering
Answer
the
the
door.
door. Ding dong.
No way, it's the KGB.
Ding dong.
I'm not answering that.
Yes, you're going
you
to.
answer
I'm
it.
not going to answer
I'm not going
it.
to answer it. It's the KGB.
The KGB will fit for no one.
It's true.
Oh, this has been a great episode of Project W Key. Do me a favor, make sure to go back through all of our videos, check out the different topics we're covering. Let me know in the comments, let me know on social media some of the things you'd love for us to discuss further on the channel. This has been another cultural commentary edition of Project W Key. Answering the question, would The Office get canceled today? Would it have the ratings to last? Would it have the content that can make it in a politically correct world? Is there such a thing as helpful humor? And how do we avoid implementing harmful humor? Let's talk about it today. Let me know what you think, and we'll see you on the next one.